So I feel like before we actually get into the show, I have to apologize to our listeners / viewers and to you, Dean, because as a lot of people might have, well, a lot of people, I guess maybe in relation, like relative to the number of people who listen to our show, it could be a lot. I don't know.
Right, like probably the number of people listening to this show is the same amount of people you're referring to right now.
Exactly. So
yeah.
So those people there might have noticed that we have not posted anything in like 2-3 weeks. I don't know, how long's it been?
I think it's been a month.
It's been a month, people.
Yeah.
A month. And it's not like we don't have any content. No,
we got backed up shows. We got lots of content.
Yeah,
just
we are
sitting there.
backed up.
We are backed up. It's just sitting there.
No matter how hard
sitting on your computer.
No matter how hard we try and push it out, we're still backed up.
Yeah.
But and it is kind of my fault. I left to go on a 2-week-long road trip with my wife.
Yes, and did you enjoy it?
Yes. Overall,
Good.
Yes. My motto
Good.
for the whole trip was, even if it's not fun, it's an experience.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I thought your motto was going to be "There's no place like home."
Actually, there isn't. There is no place like home. She was right.
She's always right.
Yeah. But no, I left, and I thought I had sent you because you were going to do the editing, because I was going to be going.
No problem. You're going to leave on holiday.
Yeah,
I'll edit
Dean
the
takes
podcast
care
that we
of
had.
it. Dean's
no
there.
problem. I got this.
Dean's always the one to step up and be like, I will make sure everything happens on time, and I thought I did my thing, but I did it incorrectly. Usually I'm the one who edits for the most part. Both the podcasts that we do, usually I'm the one who does it. So you guys sent me your file. Well, for the other one we don't do that, but for this show, you send me your file, and I add it to mine and go from there.
Yeah.
So I went to send you my file.
You did.
You did. I sent something.
You sent the wrong file. You sent the project file, which needs a lot of other things to actually work. So I couldn't do it.
Nope.
I went to sit down to edit, and it was not working.
No. So I wasn't at my computer. I had my laptop, but the files weren't on there, and so I couldn't send it to you. So we've had this ready to go, but not because I screwed up.
Yeah. So, but the good news is we aren't done. Like, people probably thought, it's over.
It was only a matter of time.
They did 15 episodes. It's probably over now, but it's not.
Nope.
The good news is it's not. We have lots. We actually have lots of shows ready to go.
You know what's great though? I was just thinking about it. By the time they hear this, we'll have already released the other 2 episodes.
Oh yeah, they'll have no idea that we've been gone for a month.
No, we're just gonna appear. And then 2 weeks after that point,
you get the apology.
You get the apology. Yeah,
that's interesting. I like that. It's like after they're all not mad at you anymore because you've released content. Everyone's just cooled down. They
forgot
calmer
about
out there.
It's the 24-hour news cycle.
Yes.
Something else has happened.
It's smart, man.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it.
That's how I've done everything my entire life. I apologize 2 weeks later.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And also, we got these 2 lined up that you've probably already listened to, if you're listening to this one.
Yep. If you haven't, though, go listen to them because they're pretty good.
They are really good. You should listen to them.
Yes.
So this week and possibly next week, we are going to do a few special episodes as part of the apology.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's our way of saying sorry.
Our way of saying sorry is we will break out of the norm.
Yep.
And we will do a few special episodes. So, like, if you
That's
are
me
a
breaking
listener,
out of the norm, by the way. That's the sound.
If you're a listener to us regularly, you know how we operate here. You know what we do.
They should by now. This is episode.
I don't know which one it is. Maybe 18. Okay. Well, we'll say the number later and insert it into there. Good,
right.
Good.
I won't
good job.
do that.
Yeah. So you know that we have found a new way of watching television.
Yes, we have.
Basically, the hottest new way of watching television.
It's the only way, really, people should be watching television.
Yeah, like, if you are still stuck in the Stone Ages of, like, Netflix binge watching, you really need to pay attention here.
Pay attention. You're watching all of these episodes. You don't need to do that.
Number one, you don't need to do that. Number two, you're not going to be as proficient in the knowledge of the show as you should be.
No, because you're bogged down by all that middle crap.
Yes, exactly.
So here's the thing. You watch the first episode, you watch the last episode, you're an expert.
That's what you are.
All right. If you watch all that stuff in between, yes, you still watch the first. Yes, you watch the last. But it gets clouded by all the middle junk.
You cannot be an expert doing it that way.
No.
And if you do watch the first and the last, this technique works 100% of the time.
Yes.
Just without fail, you will be an expert on the show.
We are an expert at a number of shows at this point.
Yes, exactly. So we know that it can't fail. Basically, it's foolproof.
And we are fools.
Yeah. We
Take it
are.
from us. We're fools. Yeah. And this is foolproof.
But this week it failed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we picked a show. And if you have clicked on this episode, you know what the show is.
You already know what it is.
You know what it is.
Yeah. You knew before you clicked on the show.
Yes.
Before you clicked play, you knew what we were going to talk about.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's only 2 episodes of this show. It is a show with only 2 episodes. So, by watching the first and by watching the last, you're also simultaneously watching the middle.
You've seen everything.
You've seen everything. It's actually pretty clever for a television show producer to trip us up.
Yeah. They knew what they were doing.
They knew.
Back in 1990.
Yeah, 1990. Like,
it's
way ahead of its time.
That 27 years later, we would be doing this podcast.
Exactly. Like, it may not be ahead of its time in effects, but it is ahead of its time in first lasting.
Yes, absolutely. This is called The Long Con, people.
Yes.
And they played it. They played it well.
They played it well back in 1990. They found a loophole to first lasting. So if you watch the first and you watch the last of this TV series, you're not going to be an expert. Because you're simultaneously watching the middle.
You see the middle stuff.
Yeah.
You see the middle stuff, and that's where it gets you.
But, Alex.
Dean.
Are we amateurs or are we professionals?
At
television watching.
Oh, we are experts.
Yes, exactly. We're not even amateurs or professionals. We are experts. We don't care about loopholes. We can find out a way around
I totally
loopholes.
Forgot the word you picked. Are we professionals or amateurs? We're experts.
We're expert. I'll just take one of them. I'll just take none of them. You know
what?
I don't need any.
I promise I
none of the above. Yeah. So yeah, that loopholes are no problem for us, right?
Nope.
We've found a way around them. In fact, you eat loopholes for breakfast.
We have circumvented the loop. That's what we do here.
So, how we figured it out. How we have figured this out. Listeners.
Viewers.
Listen up. If you're a listener, you are listening. I mean, can you be listening and not a listener? I don't think so.
No.
It's like, it brings up that like philosophical question. If a podcast has no listeners, is it even a podcast?
No.
It would be more like, I guess it's just a conversation between you and me. We could just be talking to each other.
If a podcast doesn't have any listeners, it's first last.
Oh, nice. Yes. Yeah, so it's just... I guess this is just a conversation between you and me at this point.
Exactly. It's a nice hour-long-ish conversation. We come together. If other people want to listen in, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But you know what? Let's get right to it. What are we talking about? They already know, but what are we talking about?
But we don't know. Yeah, they know. We don't know.
I have no idea.
So we are talking about Stephen King's It. And we are talking about the miniseries that was on TV in 1990, but since they tried to trick us up with this first, last, middle garbage, we also read the book.
Okay. I didn't know that we were going to be talking about this. So when you said we're doing Stephen King's It, which comes in at a brisk 3 hours. Okay.
Yeah, 3:07.
Yeah. So you said we're doing that. So I spent 3 hours today watching the show. And then you said after we got to the end, we realized we were not experts because of how they structured the show. So also today I had to read the entirety of the book.
You are a fast reader. That's a long book.
It's what, like 1,200 pages?
It's close to 1,200 pages.
Something
yeah,
like that.
So you watched 3 hours of television and read 1,200 pages.
Just today. It's 6 o'clock.
Just today. That is impressive. You are impressive, sir.
Don't I know it? No, actually, okay. For real though, I read this book only a couple months ago.
I also read this book less than a month ago is when I finished it.
So I guess me several months ago, to get like a real time frame here, several months ago, and you about a month ago, you finished it.
Yeah.
How long did it take?
About a month ago. It took me about a month to read it.
It's a sizable book.
Yeah.
I think it took me about 2 weeks, but I stopped paying attention to everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, my wife had the divorce papers ready to go. It was crazy. And
then you're like, don't worry about it. I finished. I'm done now.
Right.
It's all good.
Yeah. But.
Yeah, so this is going to be a special book edition of First Last Podcast, where we watch the first episode of the TV series, we watch the last, and we read the book.
We read the whole book. And it's the whole book. We didn't just read the first chapter and the last chapter.
No. You have to read the whole book. If you're going to get messed up with all that middle stuff, you have to read the book.
Right.
So now we know exactly. We are experts at the TV series because we've read the book.
Yeah. Now, I think it's safe to say that the book is a little bit better than the show.
You know what? Here's what I want to do.
Oh, okay. Do it.
We're going to do something different.
Oh, different.
Okay. So I haven't talked to you about this, so you might not like it, but you know what? I don't care.
I already don't like it.
Yeah, well, we're going to do it.
You're just springing this on me.
We do ratings at the end of the show. We still will. We'll do ratings of Stephen King's It, first, last, and book. Okay? But right now, give me, Alex, your rating of just the book.
Whoa!
And your rating of just the TV series.
Whoa, so we're doing this at the beginning.
At the beginning, I want to see what the rating of just the book and the rating of just the TV series is right now. At the end, we'll do both as one.
Okay.
But I want to see, before we start this conversation, what are your two ratings?
My book.
Your book.
Rating.
You're
I
Stephen King?
wrote it, by the way.
Also,
Stephen
you have
King
to say...
is just like a moniker that I use.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Also, you have to say Stephen King's It whenever you're going to say it, because otherwise nobody understands what you're talking about. If you just say it.
Or people think they're being clever and they keep playing with you when you're just thinking, shut up, you know what we're talking about here.
Yeah, that one too.
A lot.
Yeah.
Okay, but book first. My rating for the book, and I will defend this until the end of until the end of time.
Okay.
We rate out of 10. It's been a while, right? We rate out of 10?
It is out of 10,
It is out of 10. Okay. All right. I'm giving it a 10. It is a solid 10. I will fight anyone to the death if they say otherwise.
Yeah, so I'll just jump in and give mine. 100% agree. Boom. It is a 10 out of 10 as a book. It's my favorite Stephen King book. It also happens to be the only one I've read, but it still gets a 10 out of 10.
You've pretty much started up at the top. There's some that people can argue are better.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So we're not going to get into we're not going to get into why it's a 10.
No.
We'll get to
just what your rating is. We'll get into the why later because we're going to do some comparisons.
So,
so I started at the top. It's only downhill from here, apparently. But here's the thing, though. Like downhill, why is downhill the bad thing? Shouldn't it be it's only uphill from here? Like downhill is like easier.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? If I had to choose one or the other, I would always choose downhill.
I know. Always.
I want everything to be downhill.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
Yes.
give me your TV series rating without the book. Because remember, if you just watch the TV series first and last, you're going to get confused with everything going on in the middle, which is everything that's going on.
So
So it's not going to be good. It's not going to be a good rating.
Without the book, maybe a 3?
That's low. That's a low number.
It's bad. Okay, peoples, for real. It's bad.
Yeah, so...
It's not... Hold on. It's not as bad as I remembered it to be, though.
Okay. Oh, so it's a little bit better. Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it a 3. Hold on. Wait. I guess I gotta get clarification on this.
Yeah.
Do I have to forget that the book exists?
Yes.
Oh. Might be like a 5. I'm gonna go right down the middle. I guess. Okay,
right
I'm sorry.
down the middle.
If the book doesn't exist,
No, it's not about like how well they did the book. It's just as a TV series.
5.
5. Okay,
5.
right down the middle. Very nice.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so it was looking like we were gonna follow how we do things around here, where you're the harsh rater and I'm kind of more easy. But I'm gonna be the harsher one, and I'm gonna go with a 4 this time.
Okay.
Yeah. But we'll get to
You're kind of right
later.
right in between where I first said and where I'm at now.
Yeah, right in between where your mind's at. That's where I am.
Perfect. That's where I like you to be. That's where I want you at all times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I want to be at all times. I like to sneak in there and then just boom, pop out with an opinion and then just hide again.
There you go. Just scurry back in.
Yes. So just to set that up, we have 2 book ratings of 10 out of 10 and a television series rating of a 5 and a 4.
Yes.
There. So, what are we going to do on this show, Alex?
I don't know. You're the one with all of like the directions here. I'm just kind of following. You're orchestrating this. You're conducting. Choo. Get this going. What are we doing?
I told you at the beginning of the show when we first got on the call.
Dean,
told you what we were doing.
Dean.
You were supposed to take notes so you could take this.
I don't listen.
Okay, well, then I guess we're just going to go with whatever I want to do, and you can't complain about it.
I won't complain about it.
Okay. So, I would like to talk about the things that worked on the television series. The things that went well.
I hate this. I hate this idea. It's a terrible idea.
I already told you this idea.
Yeah, you did. No, we're going to talk about the things that are different than anything. Yeah.
Yes. We're going to talk about the things that are different between the TV series and the book, the things that watching the TV series you don't get, you're not an expert, because this happened in the book. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about things that worked, things that I missed from the book that weren't in the show, and things that really didn't work in the show.
Right. So, okay, just to set this up, if you haven't read the book or and you've only seen the show, or you don't know anything about either of them, as we started watching the show,
yes,
I like all the memories from the book just started flooding back, and
totally.
I'm gonna be completely honest here. I don't care if this changes anyone's feelings of me. I started to tear up a little bit because I love this book so much.
That does not change my feelings towards you.
You thought I was an asshole beforehand.
Yeah, now you have a sensitive side. Right. So it actually does change my feelings
just a little bit.
In a positive way.
Seriously, it affected me in such a way to where I felt the tear glisten up in the duct.
Yes.
It got right there. And I turned to Sarah and I said, this is probably my favorite story of all time.
Yes, I totally agree.
And she said, should we stop watching this? Should I read it? Because she's never read it. Oh,
okay.
And I thought about it for a little bit. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I said, you know what?
No.
From what I remember, it touches on like the broad strokes, but you can watch this and read the book afterwards.
Oh, totally. If you just watch this, you basically don't really know what the book's about.
No, you barely know what the show's about.
Yeah, well, you don't really know what the show's about. They smash together a bunch of scenes and just make it into a TV special. So you can totally read the book. Like, there are so many things missing that the new movie trailer looks like they're going to touch upon.
Yes. I cannot wait for the movie.
I cannot wait for that. So, let's get into something right off the bat. Should we get into things that worked or things that didn't work?
I feel like we should be negative first and then be positive.
Okay, I like it. I like that outcome. Okay, so we go things that really didn't work. Now,
any of the actors.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
No.
So the first thing I had written down was child acting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, no, here's the thing. The children were cast very well. Mm-hmm. I like Bill. I think he was cast fantastic. I like Seth Green as Richie. That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I liked how all the characters looked, and I liked them in the role.
Okay.
The problem is,
how about Beverly?
The problem is, Beverly was fine. Beverly wasn't great, but Beverly was fine.
Okay.
It was okay. So the problem that I have is there's all these big epic scenes in the book. The things you remember, the things that make you tear up, the things that just like give you that warm feeling. And they tried to create those scenes in the TV series, and they all missed because the children can't act. The children are just reciting lines at each other.
Yes.
So I did not feel anything I was supposed to.
No,
so
I get that.
I'll just go with two examples, my two really big examples. When Ben is with Bill and Eddie for the first time, telling them how to build a dam. And he's like saying, all you have to do is do this and this and this. And Bill just like stops him and says, no, not you, we.
Right.
Like he says, like, you're part of our group now. You're our friend, which is huge for Ben because like he's now accepted as their friend basically immediately.
Yep.
In the show, that was just two kids reciting lines at each other.
Yep.
There was just no emotion in it.
No feeling.
No.
Yeah.
And just the other one that really stood out in my mind is the rock fight, which is a
Yeah.
huge moment for the kids. They take a huge stand. They actually beat the bullies. And in the TV series, they are just standing there, just like tossing rocks. It's not throwing rocks. They're tossing.
Yeah.
rocks.
just barely like lobbing them down.
Just like wide stance, standing straight up, and just flicking the wrist.
Yeah. Granny
another
shooting
thing,
these rocks.
Yes. Another thing that I've seen in the trailer where they show a little snippet of the rock fight and they are just launching those rocks as hard as they can.
Yeah.
They're throwing those things like their life depends on it.
Because it does. It did.
Which it does, yeah. So, anyways, that's my thing on child acting. Did you have a different opinion about the child acting?
I thought in a lot of ways, actually, the kids were better than the adults. Mm-hmm. I really liked... The only one that didn't really fit like my head canon was probably Stan. Stan.
Yeah, as a child?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Stan was it did not fit my head canon either.
Yeah. I thought they did a great job with Eddie being the little scrawny
Eddie's great. Mm-hmm.
I actually liked Beverly.
Okay.
I liked her. I thought she did a good job. Ben in some moments was okay.
Here's the thing for me with Ben. I feel like he looks too cool.
Yeah.
I think he looks like he's a bully kid. Like to me, he looks too cool and kind of acts too cool.
Right. He needs to be a really self-conscious, pudgy dork.
Yeah.
For the most part. Really.
Yeah, and he really, like, I think the dork word is the one that gets me right there. I don't think, like, the Ben in the TV series did not feel like a dork.
Okay, as the kids, in the book, who was your favorite character?
In the book, okay, so, like, my top three, this is really hard for me.
Yeah, because they're all amazing.
Yeah, my top three are easy. My top three are Bill, Ben, or Richie.
Okay.
And I would say probably... I like Richie a lot because I like the comedy. I didn't like Richie right away when he came into the book, and then he just totally grows on you, and I really liked Richie. Yeah, I would say maybe Ben's my favorite. I just, every time Ben's in the book and in the scene, I just really love it. I'm a fan of Ben.
Ben is also my favorite because, honestly, Ben is like me as a kid.
Okay.
Yeah, Ben was me.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love Ben. So to see...
Totally relate to him, yeah.
His character in the show, they're all pretty bad. So I guess it's not like one really sticks in your mind, for me at least.
Yeah, for me in the show, Bill was nailed it, I think. I think Bill was a solid casting.
Yeah, not for like what I pictured, perhaps, but like how he acted. And hold on, not like acting, but the things that he did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that made sense.
Yeah.
Bill worked for me. So just other things. Okay. Whenever a book gets turned into a show or a movie, they're going to cut things out.
They have to.
Yep. There's no way. And you know, a lot of times too, it's better that they cut certain things out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Certain things work better in books than they do in other forms of media.
And I think we can both agree that there is something that they did not include that was a good choice.
Absolutely.
And probably that they never could have because it's on television.
Yeah. You know, for the people who've read it, they know what we're talking about. It comes towards the end of the book. After the kids defeat Pennywise for the first time.
Yeah.
That's the only part of the book that I actively dislike. I understand what he's going for. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still don't like it.
Yeah, so because I took a lot of time to think about it because I needed to figure it out.
Yep.
Because at first I just didn't get it, and my face was very... it must have been interesting looking at me reading that part.
Yeah, because you feel kind of gross.
Yeah, totally. But after thinking about it for a while, I get it, and I get what he was trying to do. There was so many other ways he could have done it, but he chose that way. And so because of that, because I get what he's trying to do, it doesn't bug me. I don't like it per se. I don't want to read that part again, but
I just don't talk about it. I wouldn't have brought it up if you wouldn't have.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. But just going back, yeah, sure. So there's that part.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So in a TV series, because they got to make it shorter, they're gonna cut things. Here's what they did though in this TV series: they splice scenes together, and because of that, they don't make any sense.
Right. It's just if you were to go through the book and highlight some of the most important parts, and film those, or even before you film them, just take those paragraphs and splice them all together, you would have no reason, no transitions, no reason for one thing to lead to another. You just have the big points. Here's the bare bones of the story. There you go.
Yeah.
And then they took that, they made that their script, and they shot it. And
yeah, totally.
It's a mess.
A lot of it is like, if you've read the book, then a lot of it is like, oh yeah, this. But if you're just watching a TV show, you don't know what's going on.
No. If I see a scene in the show, I go, okay, yeah, that happened because of this. I know they're not showing it here, but I read it and I understand it.
Yeah.
You don't understand stuff in the movie.
So this is a TV show, and it was on primetime television, and I think it had a PG rating.
Yeah.
And it is a horror book. Like, it is a scary book. This is supposed to be scary. So I don't know if they're affected by TV budget and the PG rating, whatever. It had no scare factor for me. Okay,
Sarah did mention, it didn't for me either, but Sarah did mention that when it just, about the halfway point, she goes, okay, this is getting scarier here.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I never actually felt like anyone was in trouble.
No.
Right? Like Pennywise was always letting them go. And just like, he would get close and then he'd be like, just trying to scare you.
Right.
He was never actually attempting to go after them. He was never attempting to kill them.
No. In the book, if he would have gotten a hold of them as kids, they would have been dead.
They were done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game over right there.
he was always going after them to kill them, and they would get away. They would somehow just get away.
The scene that really bothers me is the one where, Richie goes down into the basement to get to get a mop from the janitor to clean up the mess in the cafeteria, and it appears to him in the form of the Wolfman. I was a teenage werewolf.
Yeah.
And he gets a hold of him, grabs his arm, and Richie's able to just pull away. And then he slowly walks away, and Pennywise turns back into the clown and just kind of laughs as Richie runs away.
Yeah, and he's just like, hey, come visit me anytime.
Yeah.
Like that was it. All you wanted to do was put a hand on his shoulder and then scare him. But, like, Pennywise wants to kill him.
Yes.
Like, it wants to kill him.
And they make mention of a lot of other kids in Derry dying. So,
totally,
so we've established that he will kill you.
Yeah, how come he's not killing these kids? He definitely wants to kill these kids.
Yeah. And the only reason that he can't kill them in the book, for the most part, is because they're together. When they're together, they have a power together.
Yeah.
And they all have their own individual powers, too. But as a group, they're strong. And that's why he can't get to them. They have to be together. And that's one of the things that I love about the book so much.
Yes, they were all attacked individually. And then when they shared all those stories with each other, they became a group, a unit.
Losers Club.
Yeah, the Losers Club. And they could not be defeated together after that.
Right.
But, like, also a really, really big menace, which they tried to get with in the TV series, is Henry Bowers.
He was just more annoying than scary.
Again, did not feel scared of him at all.
No.
Really, Richie got the best of him at every turn.
Yep. Yeah.
Like that rock fight, I really was not worried at all.
No.
Like, Henry is scary. He is very scary in the book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, so there's the scene in the show where he takes out the knife and he's gonna cut his name into Ben's stomach. Okay. Yeah. Well, in the book, he never gets to, or excuse me, in the show, he never actually touches him with the blade.
Right.
In the book, he does.
In the book, he gets the H and the E in, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe just the H, yeah. Yeah, he's like, and that's very, very early in the book.
Right. Right.
So right away you're like, this guy is messed up. This kid is messed up.
Yeah, they turn, so the guys in the show, I'm pretty sure only two of, there's three of like the punks, the bullies. I think only two of them really get names. Do they even name
in the show? No, only two of them get names.
Yeah. So there's Henry and there's Belch.
Yeah.
And
you don't even get Victor's name.
No.
Right? No, that's funny. Yeah, I never thought about that.
And Patrick isn't in it at all.
Oh no, I know. And like Patrick is,
he was one of the scariest things about the entire book.
Of the book, yeah, he's one of the scariest things of the entire book. And another thing, here we go. Another thing that I love about the preview for the new movie, they show a kid's poster, a missing kid's poster on a telephone pole, and it says Patrick Hofstadter underneath it. Amazing. Just like another tribute where it's like, hey, people who weren't pleased with the TV show, the TV series, we got this in here.
Yeah. So they turn the bullies more into like the Three Stooges.
Yeah, exactly.
Where they're just
and like they
fools.
even make mention of that in the movie. They're just fools, and really they weren't fools. They were scary.
Yeah. Yeah, that was for sure. Just like with Pennywise, if Henry got a hold of you, you were going to get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And here, they couldn't touch him, because he was just stupid.
No, he was just stupid. Like, at the movie theater, Richie pours his Coke all over him, and then they just kind of run away. Like, the movie theater in the book, you felt worried for Richie and Bev and Ben. They got cornered in an alley after that movie theater incident happened, and you felt very scared for them.
Right.
And it became another big moment, which just wasn't in the TV series because all Richie did was pour his Coke on them and they ran away.
Yep, they were gone. And they had no idea if it was him or not.
Yeah, they couldn't even tell who did it.
Yeah. Ugh. So far we've just talked about them as kids.
Yes.
There's
let's get to the second half of the movie. Or sorry, the second half of the TV show.
Right.
The finale, if you will, where there's more of the adults.
They all come back to Derry. Because as kids, after defeating Pennywise for the first time, well, I get quote unquote defeating him. He's
they
still
didn't
alive,
know.
But they beat him.
They didn't know.
They beat him in that instance.
They beat him in that instance. They didn't know if he was dead. They thought there was a possibility he could be dead, but they made a pact with each other to return if he wasn't dead.
Right. And the only one to stick around is Mike. Mike Hanlon stays around. He's the town librarian.
Yeah.
And he's been keeping watch on everything. And he's noticed 30 years later, for some reason, not 27 years later.
Yeah, for some reason 30.
Yeah.
I don't know why, just so they could do the actually I don't know why.
I don't know.
Yeah. So they could do the 50s and the 80s, or like just so they could do a round number,
I guess.
Yeah.
But he notices that it is still alive. He knows it's still around, so he calls them all back.
Yes. He knows it's still around, and he knows that it is leaving them messages to call them back.
Right. Because it leaves him the Georgie picture.
It leaves Georgie's picture, so he says, okay, I know it's back, and this is definitely a big clue that it knows who we are and what we did.
Yeah, which I guess doesn't really make sense, because in the movie, the whole time he's saying, go away. When they get there, he's telling them to leave. He doesn't want them there. No,
in the TV series, he's always telling them to go away. He doesn't. Everybody there's like balloons that say "turn back now."
Right.
Basically, all he's grabbing people for is just to be like, "Get out of here."
Yeah, and I don't. Okay, so in the book, he doesn't have anything to do with calling them back. Mike does that all himself.
Mike calls them back, but because he's noticed these things.
Right. But Pennywise isn't like communicating with Mike. There's not that picture moment.
There is actually.
Is there? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, he does find that picture at one of the scenes.
Okay.
And at other crime scenes, he finds other things that they went through.
Again, it's been a little bit longer since.
So there is actually that callback from Pennywise. Yeah, from it. Because it is super, super confident the second time around.
Yeah, that it'll be able to take them.
That it's going to be able to take them, because in the book, Bill fights it as a kid, like completely different to how it happens in the TV series.
Yes.
But Bill fights it as a kid and kind of defeats it. And so then the next time around, it has been kind of preparing to fight Bill and ready and just like totally confident that it is going to kill Bill and they're going to be dead.
Yeah. Now, there's no other things that they missed real quick here. And I guess maybe it's okay to not have it in this version, because I don't think it would have fit with what they were doing. There was no turtle.
There was no turtle.
Turtle wasn't there. They had the deadlights.
They had the deadlights, which actually they expanded on more than the book did.
Yes.
Which was kind of cool, because the deadlights is just kind of something not just mentioned, like it's often talked about in the book, but I feel like the TV series did visualize it quite well.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I did like the deadlights part of that, but they had no turtle.
The turtle
they talked about. So, like at the end, I think Mike says something about how there was a force with them. There was a force with them helping them out when they were kids. And like watching the TV series, I was like, why? Why would you say that? Like, there's no reason for you to say that right now. Like, there's nothing leading up to any sort of idea that something has brought them together and something higher is helping them along. Like, it was really just a bunch of kids who were like, hey, let's kill a monster who doesn't even really try to kill us.
Right. Yep. So there wasn't that. They didn't mention it. I suppose it could have been. There was no Neibolt Street.
Okay, so number one thing on the things that I wanted
29.
in this, the things that I wanted in this TV series and that I didn't get was the house on Neibolt Street.
Yeah,
that is the best part of the book, in my opinion. Everything that happens in that house.
Yeah, and because they go back to it more than once.
They go back to it several times, and big things always happen at it.
Yep.
And probably, like, the biggest, for me, like, one of the most just exciting and epic scenes in the book, where they're all as a group there fighting the werewolf, which they basically copied into the TV series where it was the Pennywise fight at the end.
Yeah.
Kind of. They just kind of smushed that all together.
Yeah.
And but
it was so great in the book.
It was so
all
great
the kids
in the
there
book.
having to sneak into the house. The tension. It was when Ben got stuck.
Yes, it was so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if you're just to point out right now, if you've only watched the TV series and you're listening to this podcast, and you're thinking, how come a silver slug or silver earrings? How come silver earrings hurt Pennywise? That's because that is taken from the book where they melted down silver dollars and they made silver slugs, and it worked because it was in the form of a werewolf. Yep. So that is why it worked. And it doesn't really come across in the TV series because he's a
monster, so Silver Ward.
Yeah, exactly. He's a clown, and so it worked. Now, the kids didn't necessarily know that it was going to work because he was a werewolf, but they knew that silver kills monsters in movies. So they're going to go with it, and then it actually ended up working because it was in the werewolf form.
Yeah. Now, was the house that Stan went in the movie, do you think that was supposed to be 29 Neibolt Street?
Okay, so the scene in the TV series was exactly the same as what happened to Stan, but he went into a different place.
Right.
Like, it was basically exactly what happened to Stan. But yes, I think that in the TV series, they were trying to make that Neibolt Street.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought when I watched it, just to get Neibolt Street in there.
The house. Have you seen you've seen pictures from the set?
Yes.
Right? That's like exactly. It's perfect.
Amazing. It looks amazing. Like, again, this new movie just looks incredible.
Yeah. We might do like a special edition follow-up after we watch the movie.
We will. We have to.
Yeah. I almost want to fly to Canada so we can go see it together.
Do it.
That's really expensive to go see a movie.
Dude, it will be out when you come down for my wedding.
Oh my god.
We have to make it. We just have to make it happen.
There's no way. Yeah, go tell Laura.
Just come a day early. We'll make it happen.
There we go. Okay.
But yeah, there's actually a little that scene that they show of Neibolt Street and like Eddie getting chased in the trailer. You can see the leper behind him.
Yep.
Chasing him. It's amazing. Like that is one of my favorite parts. Like maybe my favorite part of the book is the house on Neibolt Street. So I'm just so happy that it's in the movie, and I really missed it from this TV series. I guess you're right. It was where Stan went in.
Yeah, but it could have not been too. Like that's the whole thing. Like it might have been, might not have been.
It was exactly what I thought. Yeah. It just it was exactly what I thought when he went in. I was like, oh, okay, this is supposed to be that house.
Yeah. All right, so let's get back to them being as adults. I got to it before, and then I took us on a bunch of tangents.
Yeah, tangents are fine.
They're all coming back. Mike calls them back together. And I actually thought they did a pretty good job a little bit with showing where they were as adults.
Definitely.
It was changed from the book. There were parts that I hated. Yep. I thought they did a good job with Eddie. I thought his part was good, where it introduced his mom. Just being
in the book,
crazy.
In the book, that scene is his wife.
Right.
It's almost identical, but it's his wife.
Yeah. But we had to get his mom at some point, and she hadn't been in.
Totally. You had to set up that at some point because they played on it a bit later.
Right. So I thought they did a good job with that one.
Yeah.
They did an okay job with Bill, other than he can't act and Audra can't act.
Bill, the guy playing Bill is pretty terrible. Like, the kid Bill is way better than him.
He's
so
much better. But Audra might be the worst one in the whole movie.
Well, yes. like, is she supposed to have a British accent? Because she didn't.
Well, she's supposed to.
Yeah, she did not. She had an attempt at a British accent, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so they did an okay job with Eddie and Bill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I hated what they did with Beverly. They got a little bit of it right.
I was just going to say that.
But
Bev and Tom are terrible.
Yes.
They are, again, a just amazing scene from the book. One of them that stands out in your mind is when Bev tells Tom she's leaving and Tom says no.
There's all that stuff with like the cigarettes beforehand.
Yes. And they almost kill each other.
Yeah. You didn't feel that at all in the book.
In the scene in the TV series, she throws like a bottle of face cream.
Yep.
And he basically deliberately headbutts it. Like he just headbutts it out of the air and it knocks him down. And then she goes up to him and says, "If you follow me, I'll kill you." Yeah. Like, what? There was just...
No, he gets wrecked in the book.
In the book, he gets wrecked. And if she came up to him and said, "If you follow me, I'll kill you," that just fires him up more.
Right. He would have loved that. If she said that.
Exactly. He would have loved that, and he would have grabbed a weapon and got up.
Yep.
Like, it was a little like bottle of face cream to the head knocks down Tom. Come on.
Let's get to another.
Don't even put Tom in the TV series if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, it was just like embarrassing to watch.
Tom is terrible. He's a terrible person.
So let's get to another one that was okay.
Yeah.
And that was Richie. He wasn't the radio host like he was in the book. But okay, fine. If you're going to update it a little bit, and he could be a TV host.
TV host, yeah.
So I thought that was all right. I actually kind of
Richie was fine.
Liked the actor.
Yeah. Actually, that guy did a good job of Richie. If we go Seth Green as Richie and then him as Richie, I actually think the adult did better.
Oh yeah.
Which like Seth Green's the biggest name in the movie, I guess, like because of now Seth Green.
I mean,
but
yeah.
Like maybe not the biggest name in the movie, but like the biggest child actor, I would say, in the movie.
Yeah, I would say because John Ritter probably is. Yeah, and then Tim Curry.
Tim Curry,
and we haven't even talked about Tim Curry yet. That'll be later.
That's because we're saving the things that work part.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So like Seth Green was one of the biggest child names, but I would say he did a pretty good job as Richie. Like he's the right. Like in my head, he's the right choice as Richie, but I don't think it always came across correct. But yeah, the adult actor, I think, was better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one, because there wasn't really too much to it, was Stan. I was perfectly okay with Stan.
Stan was basically nailed.
Yeah.
Actually, again, that guy's a pretty big name actor for the people that were in this movie.
Right.
He's got a very short part. Because if you've watched, obviously, the TV series or the book, or read the book, he's the one that doesn't come back because he commits suicide. Yep. And I actually thought that part was pretty well done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though it's like basically one of the first things that happens in the book, it was way, way later in the TV series, but I think that worked. I think that worked with the way they set it up.
Yeah. And then let's just get to the last one here. And that is Ben's character, John Ritter.
Ben was okay.
I didn't like it. I liked that bar scene.
The bar scene is so much better.
Yeah.
And like that's why... Okay, so I guess this is what they did. They said he's in a bar scene, but we're just going to make him drinking somewhere else and drunk. But like that's not really what the bar scene was about.
No.
The bar scene was about Ben coming in every night and having like a beer. He's just... a customer who comes in, has his beer, goes home, and then he drinks excessively when he hears this news.
Right.
Instead of he comes home drunk, he's clearly drinks all the time, and then he has a lot to drink.
Yep.
Like it just didn't. Yeah, it was way better in the book. You're right.
Yeah, I didn't. But one thing it did do a good job of with all of them was establishing that they were all well off. They all had some money. Which was a fantastic big part.
With that, it is a big point that Mike doesn't and the rest of them do, and they did a great job of that.
Yeah.
They were all rich. They all were easy and like fine. Their lives were going smoothly.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mike calls them all back. They come back, and I mean, they get some parts from the book.
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, I know we're going to talk about it best parts later, but the scene with Richie in the library, I thought
Very good.
Was great. That was really good.
Honestly, that is one of the best scenes in the TV series,
Yeah.
and it's funny because that's Ben's scene. Like,
right.
That happens to Ben in the book.
Yep.
But I was actually talking about this with Laura while we were watching, because I was wondering why they didn't just go with Ben.
Oh, she watched
but it's
it
because
too.
It's because they totally scrapped Richie's story with how he saw it. And then when they come back, he sees it in the same way he did as a child. So they couldn't really go back to that because they scrapped it as a child. They made something else up. So putting Richie in the library actually, it made sense for the TV series, and it was actually really great.
Yeah.
Most of it was word for word from what was going on in the book. Yeah, it was good.
Right, and you know what? Let's be honest. The scene where Richie's scene in the book, as a kid, was okay.
Yeah, actually, if we're gonna go there, that's probably the weakest thing that happened to any of the kids was Richie's.
Yeah,
and one of the ones that doesn't quite
Stan.
One of the ones that doesn't quite fit. Stan's is actually really good because Stan gets out of something.
Right.
Stan is one of the first ones to figure out how to get out of something. And that's why I really like Stan's in the book. Because like as he's like maybe his attack is a little like boring or whatever, but he's able to get out of it. Mm-hmm. And then they kind of play off that and figure out how to defeat it by things that Stan did.
Exactly. Right.
Where Richie's in the book is like a statue basically comes to life.
It's like a Paul Bunyan statue.
Yeah, Paul Bunyan statue. It comes to life and chases him, which is like it's fine, but also that
it was my least favorite of all of them.
Why is that his nightmare? Like why is that his biggest fear? Like it doesn't quite fit, and then it happens to him again. It happens to him again when he comes back, right? As an adult. Ooh. I can't quite remember.
I don't think.
Maybe something else happens, yeah. So. But the kid one is that statue chases him, which is... It's good to show that other people aren't seeing it. Because, like, obviously people would see that a statue's chasing a kid down the street. But, like, other than that, again, one of the, like, crux of the book is that I'm terrified all the time. And that's probably one of the times that it appears where I'm actually not really worried.
No, but
like a statue isn't like it should be scary, but like to me a statue isn't going to do anything. To him. No, like it's not really. It's too supernatural. It's not real enough.
Right. Now, one of the scenes in the book that I thought was one of the scariest was when Bev goes back to her childhood home.
Oh yeah.
That was really creepy.
Here's the thing, though. That is one of the scariest parts of the TV series.
Yes.
Even though they totally changed it.
Right.
It was
well, I
really
wouldn't say
good.
Totally changed it.
Okay, they just changed what the old woman turns into.
Right.
And I thought that actually that is when that happened in the TV series, I said out loud, this is scary. Like that is probably for me the scariest part of the TV series.
Yeah.
Which, again, yeah, very cool part of the book. So I think even though they switched it a bit, I like what they did. Mm-hmm. Especially with, like, TV budget that they would have had to work with.
Yeah.
In the book, she saw the old woman as, like, the witch from Hansel and Gretel. Like, the house turned into, like, Hansel and Gretel house kind of thing. Right. And the old woman was going to try to cook her. I actually think it worked really well as just like the old woman turns into her dad.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, I thought that worked.
Yeah, I thought that worked really well. That was a good choice of the TV series, and again, it worked as one of the scariest moments of the show.
Yeah. So Bill meets up with Mike. Okay, they go back to his house, and he shows him that he has Silver, his bike from when they were kids.
Yeah.
And
What is that scene?
I don't even know.
Where is that from? Like, so okay, so like as that was happening, they have this big like, I don't even know what this is. What would you call this scene?
Like a montage.
A montage, yeah. Okay, so they have this big montage of them riding on the bike and doing silly things with the bike. And I was like, this was not in the book.
No. Also, hold on, real quick. When Mike goes up the teeter-totter and comes down, Bill's like movement where he like curls his, like twists his arms down. He's like, yeah, like that was. I just like shook my head.
Bill is just kind of awful as an adult in this movie.
Yeah.
I do not like him at all. Yeah, anyways, so like then they get the playing cards and the cards have like Pennywise's face on the back, and I was like, "Oh wait, I do remember that from the book." I was like, maybe this montage bike scene did happen in the book, but I'm pretty sure it didn't.
Yeah.
That was weird. It was weird.
I think the pacing there's no pacing to the entire show.
No.
There's none at all. And that was
so
really
like
jarring.
like we've said a couple times, we're trying to get a 1,200-page book into 2 episodes of a TV series.
Right.
So they basically did not do a good job of that. They tried to get everything in the book into 3 hours by like combining things and throwing things together and leaving out details that actually need to be said. Otherwise, you don't know what's going on.
Right.
And then you have this bike montage. And it was, like you said, jarring. And actually, when they went to the Chinese restaurant and they were eating, the music there and the camaraderie they were having also felt weird.
Yes.
Again, in the book, this is not just like, hey, let's have a good meal.
Yeah, we're
and
together.
Like, catch up.
Okay.
No, like, it just adds to the fact that I never felt worried for them.
Nope.
Because they really never felt worried. Richie was scared when he returned back to Derry. That was probably the only time when I felt like a character was actually in trouble.
But it was, I don't know.
And again, that's because he has that library scene, which is one of the best, one of the scariest, one of the best.
So they figure out, I don't even care about the rest of this because this is so stupid. They figure out that it is still around because it's popping up to them and they're going to go take it out. And also, they never address in the TV show that it is actually a female.
Yep. And it has been around forever.
Forever. Yeah. It's an alien.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Actually, that's true because it landed from the sky.
Right.
So it is an alien, but
not like
because of dueling forces in the world, it's basically allowed to do whatever it wants.
Right. Yep.
Is that fair? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's the bad, so it gets to,
it is the bad, exactly.
Right. It's balanced by the good, the turtle.
Yeah, the turtle. Yeah, we've mentioned the turtle before. The turtle is the good. The turtle is. It's kind of the force helping the kids.
I'm gonna be honest. I need to reread the turtle part in the book because I don't think I got all of that.
And to be honest, someone who just read it, it's a little confusing.
Yeah.
So the turtle is the good, but also the turtle doesn't really care about them.
No,
he's just like,
the turtle
do whatever.
dies.
Do whatever. Yeah, okay. So here's what I think, actually. I think there's a bigger good force.
Yeah.
And the turtle is just kind of like the it of the bigger bad force. I think there's a big bad force, a big good force.
Right.
And it is the, realization of the bad, and the turtle is of the good.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, the turtle... In the book, the turtle throws up in his own shell and dies.
Yep.
Because he chokes on his throw up.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another reason why it is so confident when they come back as adults.
Yeah, because the turtle's done for, so you should be able to take him out.
Also something I just want to say, because I did not get it watching the series. It is also so confident when they come back as adults because they have way more power as children.
Yep. Yeah.
Because they have imagination.
Right.
And as adults, they're not really... as a kid, you're afraid of things very severely, right? So that also means they can turn that around and use their imagination to attack it.
Right.
As an adult, you're not really as afraid of things, So you
that's why
don't have...
That's why the aspirator works, the inhaler.
Yeah, exact. That's why it works as a kid, but not as an adult. So yeah, they actually did add that part in, which was good. With, again, no context to it.
No, it's just a thing.
Right? Like,
don't address
if you just watch it, if someone was
it.
just watching it and then Eddie goes up and tries to use the aspirator, you'd be like, why didn't it work this time?
Right.
Just no realization anywhere that because they're adults now, that kind of stuff doesn't really work.
Also, Henry dies in the dumbest way in the movie, in the show.
Yeah, I know.
It's not that anyone defeats him.
Yeah.
Whatever. So they're down. They're back down in the sewer, and they're going after it. Mike doesn't get to go because Mike's hurt. And what's interesting is they take out really who would be the strongest one of them all.
Yeah.
Because he stayed. He remembers everything.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. So
he doesn't get to go down. Stan's
yet.
dead, so Stan doesn't get to go. So they're down 2.
Yep.
They go in, and let's just get to the fight. We'll go right to the fight.
Okay.
So in the book, actually, this is one of the things that I don't think Stephen King did such a great job with, is describing what the creature looked like. Because he mentions it's so like confusing to the brain that the brain like sees it as a spider.
Yeah, that's exactly what he says. He says we can't really understand what it is, but the best we could describe it is a spider.
Yeah.
I actually think that was pretty good.
I don't know.
In the TV series.
I feel like there could have been description there, but wasn't.
Oh, like in the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the TV series did a good job with what the book gave it.
Oh, yeah, it was all right. I mean, for their budget, you can't really expect too much more.
Well, I just mean like because it looked like a spider, but it also wasn't quite a spider.
Yeah,
like it had extra hands, it had extra arms. So, but yeah, I know about the book where you feel like there could have been some more there.
Right. But they have this final fight, and just like in the book, Eddie is killed.
Yeah.
Eddie dies. Which is sad, like both. Like it's sad, it's really sad in the book, but I actually felt a little bit in the show too, because I thought that the actor did a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's definitely very, very sad in the book, and it did come across in the TV series. It definitely did.
Right.
It is sad when Eddie dies, and it is especially sad when they leave the sewer and Richie's carrying him. I think that was also just like a kind of cool moment there to just really knock home how close these guys are.
Right. So, but all right. How about let's get to after he kills Eddie.
Yeah.
They do harm it, and he starts like walking away, and they chase him down.
Yeah, and pull out his heart. Okay, so I cared not at all for the ending of the movie, just because the book is good.
Yeah.
It does it like so when they fought it as kids, they didn't do they didn't do what the book did as how they fought it with kids. So they couldn't do it as adults.
Right.
Right? Because they didn't use it as kids. They couldn't use this the same way as adults. So like the book has it more of a psychological thing, a psychological battle, and it was prepared to fight Bill because when they were kids, Bill fought it. Mm-hmm. Bill fought it in his mind. He was standing there basically just facing the spider and fought it psychologically.
Right.
So it was worried about Bill, so it prepared for Bill. Bill failed when they were adults, but then Eddie stepped up, Richie stepped up, Bev stepped up, and you really felt the group and like the team thing.
That's what this whole show is missing.
That's what the whole show is missing is the feeling that they are a group and they're the losers club.
One falls down, the rest are there for a reason.
Yes, they need each other. So Bill never failed in the TV series. He he did it, basically. Yeah. He was the one who stepped up. He said his line. He said he
thrust his fist
against the post and still insists he sees the ghost. He said it. They did it. They all attacked it at the same time. But it's not about attacking it at the same time. It's about your friend who defeated it before failed. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And that was what it was missing at the end there. So I really didn't care for the end. I think they could have encapsulated that feeling even with the budget and the way they went with it.
Of course they could have.
If they were going to go with a physical defeat, where like you shoot the slug, it opens up its stomach, you go in and get the heart, you still could have done that with the feeling of, oh shoot, Bill did it when we were a kid and he failed.
Right.
So now who's next? Eddie's next, and he dies for it. Mm-hmm. Richie's next. Like that part of the book is so great.
Yeah.
That the show, I honestly just did not care at all for the ending.
No. Also, not that they really needed to. First of all, they never brought up that it was a she. They also never brought up that it was pregnant.
Yes, which is, again, like, so for me in the book, it's weird because they bring it up and they're like, this is why we have to kill it. But then they never really, like, go into it.
Right. It's
like, it's pregnant, so if you don't kill it, like, is that how it keeps coming up every 27 years? Like, what's with the pregnant thing? Is it or is it just going to be like,
I think it'll just,
there's going to be way more of them.
Yeah, I think there would then be two. I don't think it's, I suppose it could be pregnant each time.
Spiders have like hundreds of babies.
Right.
But I guess it's not really a spider. It's just what our minds can see as a spider, yeah.
I don't know. Also, there was way too much of Derry standing at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
There's not much left of Derry.
There's way too much. But again, because they didn't go into all the stuff that was happening while they were defeating Pennywise.
Right.
Like, or while they were defeating it. I guess Pennywise is only his clown name.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
You know what? Let's get into
and you don't get that at all. Sorry, real quick. You don't get why.
No.
It's
okay, so let's get into good, because I think this is a good segue, where in the book, you don't get Pennywise very often.
Nope.
You don't get the clown a lot. So in the TV series, you have Tim Curry playing this clown. And he actually does a very good job.
Yes.
When he talks as the clown, I feel like that's passages I'm reading from the book.
Yep, that's exactly, that is the voice.
That is the voice I heard in my head. So he does fantastic. So I don't mind the excessive use of the clown.
The movie would have been
in the TV series
significantly worse with less Tim Curry.
Yes. So like in the book, like we said, he doesn't appear as Pennywise the Clown very often. Maybe just a couple times. Like it always has things about the clown. Like it has the pom-poms on it. So like maybe when it's a werewolf, he actually has the pom-poms on his front. Mm-hmm. Things like that. But not often is it just straight up the clown. And I think that worked well for the TV series because Tim Curry was just so good at it. I don't mind, like they did still put in that he appears differently and he appears as your nightmares, but then he just kind of switches back into Pennywise, which I thought was actually good.
Yeah.
I like that. Like I like the book better because I like when he's only Pennywise a few times.
Because I think it's creepier that way.
Oh, it's way creepier that way for sure. But for what the movie was,
it needed to be.
I think it was okay.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah. And it also makes more sense once you get to the end and it's a big spider. Like, why would it appear as Pennywise all the time if it's a big spider? Like,
well, because Beverly's dad said everyone's afraid of spiders.
Right. He did say that. Yeah. Which actually, if we go to that Beverly bathroom scene a bit, just quickly, I just really like it when in the book, when her dad comes in and like just starts like beating her for screaming.
Yep.
And then she says, oh no, it was a spider. And he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, girls are afraid of spiders. Like, I thought that was so funny in the book, and they didn't go there in the TV series. They just kind of went straight to her saying that it was a spider.
Yeah.
And so you didn't get that moment of where he was hitting her and then just like, oh, just a spider? Oh, okay. Yeah, girls are afraid of that.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, so I do like the choice for the TV series of Pennywise coming up often.
Yes, that was good.
Yeah.
Other things that I feel like I have to stretch a little bit to find good things about this show. We talked about the scene where Beverly goes back to her house. Mm-hmm. That was a good one.
That was good. Yep. Library scene was good.
Yeah, the library scene.
Okay, so I'll bring it back to they did a good job of trying to create these big moments that they had in the book, but they fell flat due to acting or due to skipping parts.
Right.
So I feel like the intent was there. Like having the scene in there, or having even the line in there where Ben is saying you and Bill tells him no, we.
Right.
Like that is a huge line in the book, and I'm so glad it was in the movie. But again, it just felt like two children reciting at each other.
Yeah. Yeah. So I honestly think we touched on the only good parts of this.
Yeah, I think we did. There's Pennywise is good. Seeing like previews of the TV series, because I hadn't watched it before doing this podcast, seeing previews of the TV series, I thought Tim Curry looked like he was playing too much of a goofy Pennywise. But actually watching the TV series, he's not. He's only goofy in a few scenes.
And that goofy works really well in those scenes.
And it works, exactly. Like he does what I want him to do. He sort of slowly talks someone into something, and then like his voice gets deeper and darker, right, and he gets a little meaner. It's just exactly what I pictured. He really does a great job. Yeah. He just has like the voice and the facial expressions for it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a hero and zero, but we're gonna do two of them.
TV hero and book hero.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
All right, give it to me. Let's just do no. We'll do. We kind of already mentioned our book heroes. My book hero is Ben.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually gonna say we narrowed it down. Yeah, my book hero is also Ben.
Okay.
So, and I actually think we probably have the same book zero. Let's just go with book zero right now.
Book zero is Patrick.
Yes, Patrick Hofstetter is he's not in the TV series, and he is the most messed up human being in the book.
Yeah, spoilers if you haven't read the book already, but when he finally dies, it's the greatest moment.
It is a great moment right after,
but it's also like, terrifying.
Right after a super like tense / cringy scene, he dies in just a fantastic way.
Yes.
Yeah, Patrick is definitely the zero.
And my favorite part is it's like seen through Bev's eyes.
Yes.
That was good. So yeah,
Very
those
cool.
are our book heroes and zeros. How about the TV show hero and zero?
Okay, so like when we go TV show hero, like I gotta go with Pennywise the Clown, just because his scenes were the best. Like when I'm watching a show, I want him to be on screen.
Yeah.
So I think that makes him my TV hero.
Okay. I'm gonna go a little different because I'm having in both like enjoyment and like a character that I like.
Totally, yeah.
So I would in the movie actually it's adult Richie. I like
good.
adult Richie.
Yeah. I like it. I like adult Richie. Yeah, adult Ben is a pretty big actor name.
Yeah, John Ritter.
And I think adult Richie did a solid job of playing that character.
Yeah, I mean they were all pretty big names, like in TV world
at that time. Yeah.
All right, how about TV zero? This is going to be the hardest one.
TV zero is the hardest one because there's like it's basically about who messed up your favorite moment the most.
Right.
Right?
The writers. The director.
Right, yeah,
the director's my zero.
I'm gonna go so I'm just gonna go TV zero. I'm gonna go with Henry Bowers as my TV zero just because he had tons of scenes. Okay. So I was very, very, very unimpressed with how Tom was in the TV series, but he also only had a few scenes.
Right.
Henry Bowers had lots of scenes. Maybe he was directed wrong, but he had lots of scenes to be menacing, and he wasn't in any of them.
He just didn't.
Even the scene when he's going to cut Ben's stomach, I still was not afraid.
No.
I actually knew he wasn't going to do it. Like, it just, I don't know. My TV zero is definitely is going to be Henry.
That's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
And I had one, but then you said, which one ruined your favorite moment
right.
the most?
So you got a new one.
And it got me thinking, like, this is a really tough one because there's so much bad. And I love the moment at the end of the book between Bill and Audra after she has been attacked by it, and she like loses all function. Like, she doesn't talk, she just sits there, and he has to snap her out of it. Yeah. But the actress in the TV show is so bad.
Yeah.
She's awful.
That it just, honestly, that scene in the TV series was cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Like, why? Also, like, he's just driving down the street, like, almost getting hit by cars, and then when he decides to stop, he stops in the middle of an intersection. I couldn't even focus on the good part of that scene because, like, everything else going on around it, I was, what is he doing?
Yeah. So she's gonna be my zero just because she was so bad. I'm actually looking her up here to see
if she's in anything else.
Oh, she was in the 1968 Romeo and Juliet that they make every kid watch in high school. Okay.
I think one thing they did do well is that Audra and Bev as adults did kind of look similar. Yeah, yeah. So that was pretty good, I guess. So you can give her her face. Right. One of the her acting skills are not very good, but
one of the scenes in the book actually that I really liked was, and I'm sure some people might argue with me, but is when Bill and Bev hook up as adults. Yeah. Yeah. Because it made so much sense. Yes, Bill is married, but it's not in this context. And trust me, people, you have to read the book to understand what I'm about to say here. It wasn't him cheating on Audra.
No, you definitely have to read the book.
Right, because that sounds awful.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that was really, again, a really good scene, which just never happened.
They got a kiss. That's like his...
They kissed like immediately.
Right.
And then Ben had a scene where he was kissing Bev, but it was just Pennywise.
Right. That was actually pretty funny the next morning when she started saying the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, where Bev starts saying the same thing next morning and he's like, "Hey, wait, what's going on? Are you even you?" Like, that was actually, that was really good.
Yeah. But
if we like, okay, so that's our heroes and zeros. Before we get into ratings, if we're going to go with TV series, and let's actually go with like first and last, which of the episodes did you like better?
That's hard. The second one was scarier.
Okay, yeah.
But the first one had... I'm going to say the first one.
Okay. I'm also going to go with the first one. Yeah. Like, the first one is the one that's focused on the kids. Basically, the kids' story ends after the first episode.
Right.
Like, there's still flashbacks to other things that happened, but basically the kid's story ends at the first episode, and then it's the adult story, which... So I really liked how they began the TV series by going with the adults and then them flashing back to things that happened when they were kids, then going back to them as adults.
Right, because that was pretty much what the book did.
Exactly. What I didn't like was the kid's story wrapping up in the middle.
Right. Right.
I liked that it went back and forth in the book all the way till the end because you didn't know how it was going to turn out.
Right.
So when these kids who have just decided that they want to go fight this monster, like, for no reason in the TV series, they just go and fight him, and they have no plan, and they defeat him, so he's obviously terrible. They just go and do that halfway through. I'm not afraid at all for the adults. Like, in the whole second half of the TV series, like the whole finale, I'm not really afraid at all. They went in with no plan, basically, as kids and defeated him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, the first one's definitely my favorite. I really liked how in the book the adult and kids kind of mirrored each other for a while. Yes. Their paths that they were taking.
That's why the ending's so epic of the book.
Right.
Because
you get both big climaxes at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into ratings. Now, how are we doing this rating here? This is...
The rating is the show we are doing, the podcast we're doing right now. First, last, and the book.
And the... Okay.
That's your rating.
All right, so
your rating is the show, but based on the information you know from the book.
Oh, I think I already did that.
I think maybe you did.
Spoilers.
And yours is going backwards from 5 out of 10 to 3 out of 10.
Yes.
So mine is actually going up a bit. Mine's going from 4 out of 10 to 5 out of 10. Mine goes up because...
Yours was... Oh, you're at 5 now. Why does it go up? Now.
It goes up because of reading the book. I'm obviously an expert. And my understanding of things that are going on in the TV show increases.
No, my knowledge of how good the book is hurts.
I understand that.
I
understand that it's the pain factor.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just the understanding factor.
That's fine.
I understand the TV series a lot more from reading the book.
Yeah.
So it goes up from a 4 to a 5.
Okay.
So I'm
going to keep the 3.
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
Awesome. We'll talk to you next week.
Later.